floor of ITS World Congress, this is the Future of Mobility podcast series, conversations with the leaders redefining how the world moves, presented by the Transportation Channel in partnership with ITS America Events.
Welcome to the Transportation Channel podcast, presented in partnership with ITS America Events. I'm your host, Alan Cleland, and we're reporting here from the heart of ITS World Congress in Atlanta, Georgia, bringing you expert insights into the innovations, challenges, and solutions driving the future of mobility worldwide. And I'm very excited to be having as guests representatives of Miovision. We have Lynn Jacques, CRO of Miovision, and Curtis McBride, the CEO of Miovision. Lynn, Curtis, welcome to the podcast. I'd like you to start off, possibly Lynn, just by explaining your position in the company and what that encompasses.
Yeah, so as the Chief Revenue Officer, I'm responsible for most of the customer interaction within Miovision, from marketing, the website, up to the delivery of the customer experience to the customer. I have an amazing team of 200 people, and all we care about day in, day out is how we can please and provide a better experience to our customer.
It seems to me that there have been several significant changes in the company, in Miovision, over the last couple of years, mainly through acquisitions. Curtis, could you please summarize them for us, or Lynn, indicating what has been added to the firm through these and other company activities?
Yeah, for sure. When we started building our ITS solution, going back probably 10 years ago, we had a vision to build what we call the smartphone at the intersection. So before you bought a smartphone, you used to buy Motorola flip phone, a calculator, a flashlight, a portable DVD player, digital camera.
I remember all that. Yes.
Everything you wanted to do was a different piece of hardware, and the intersection, traditionally has worked very much the same way. You want to add some new capability to an intersection. It's a new capital purchase, new truck roll, new maintenance issue to deal with. So we looked at this and said, there's got to be a better way. Taking the analogy of the smartphone, we built what we call the Miovision Core, which is a single piece of hardware that can do lots of different things that you want to do at an intersection. And then we went on an acquisition spree. We bought 6 companies in about 3 years. And you can think of each of the acquisitions that we did, they were very intentional, like targeting specific market segments. Each of the acquisitions, you can think of it almost like an app that runs on the smartphone. So we brought, natively things like video detection and counts, which was what XPKs we had.
Yes.
But then we went out and bought companies that were best in class in their respective parts of the market, right? So, Microtraffic, which was an expert in safety, and the Opticom business, which was like an emergency vehicle preemption, transit priority, and several others that we did were all to sort of fill out that smartphone in the intersection and add all of those applications to the device.
That's quite an approach to take. I mean, these are companies that we're already familiar with, like Opticom. But Lynn, could you explain to us how this translates into benefits for both the agencies and the users?
Yes, absolutely. So before, we used to serve the planning department of a city, and sometimes a portion of the needs for traffic operation. With all these acquisitions now, we can provide an end-to-end customer experience from planning to operation to emergency services, and eventually help with the planning of the future V2X implementation. So what it does is that you are able to have an holistic approach when you manage traffic operation and start to support not only the planning process of traffic, but also support fire, police, ambulance, all that on the same infrastructure.
That's phenomenal. So these are all significant additions to what Miovision was famous for, which was the detection of course, yes?
Absolutely. And in fact, what's happening is that a lot of cities like the fact that now they have a single point of contact. Mm-hmm. That operates all these different applications, and that can support them in multiple departments, right? And it's all based on the same philosophy of leveraging a platform and software services to provide best-of-class services.
And this goes back to what Curtis was saying about adding, like the smartphone, integrating everything together. You're not just looking at improved intersection efficiency through counting cars better or vehicles better and timing better, but also total throughput, safety aspects as well for all the road users. So that has an impact across several different ways of measuring productivity. Exactly. You could say within the city. So here I'm at the ITS World Congress, right? And you have a booth.
We do, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So if I visited the booth, what would I see on the booth right now that you're showing that fits in with what you've been talking about in terms of the range of offerings and also the productivity gains that you give?
We have 15 minutes today, so I'll focus on two elements of it. So one element, we just recently launched a permanent safety solution. So with the same camera that you use to do counts or detection, you can now, and the neat thing about our approach is there's no truck roll, there's no extra piece of hardware to add, right? It's just an upgrade to the existing purely software system you have.
Okay.
So we added the ability to do safety analytics, so specifically helping cities to understand where they're having high frequency of near misses in the network. So traditionally cities would look at collision data. So 10 years of collision data.
Yes.
We got a lot of crashes happening at this intersection. We should do something about it. So we think that's an unfortunate reality that cities have been in for a long time. But now with this near miss capability, they can look at statistically, if you have a lot of near misses, you're going to eventually have a collision. And this allows them, instead of having to wait 10 years to make a change to save someone's life, they can do that in a year where they have enough statistical data to make a decision, and a decade before something happens, they can go in and mitigate. So we're demonstrating that at the show. We're also demonstrating one of the other acquisitions we did was a company called TTS. What TTS does is they take data from the sensors that we have at the intersections, and they basically stream that into a passenger vehicle or a fleet vehicle. And what we can do with that is, if you want to, let's say, help a driver understand, what speed should I drive so that I hit the green light. The light ahead of me is red, but if I drive 60% the speed limit, I won't actually have to come to a full stop. I'll be able to hit that green light and sail on through.
Right.
This reduces, obviously fuel consumption, because you don't have to stop and accelerate. Also reduces the risk of rear end collision if you don't have to come to a full stop. So those are two of the things that we're demonstrating that are widely available, that I have lots of customers that are buying them and using them today. One of the other things that we're really excited about, that we're just showcasing for the first time at the show, is our first sort of dipping our toe, if you will, into the world of agentic systems. So we have a significant amount of data. If you think about a customer like the city of Detroit, where we have 700 intersections deployed with our system, they have a full digital twin of what's been going on in their network going back years. And traditionally, the way our system and many people's systems work is you click your way around to try to find information. So if you get a citizen complaint, you click your way through a workflow to diagnose it and figure out what to do with it. But if you've ever used ChatGPT, where you can actually conversationally interact with data, we've built that capability into what we call Miovision 1. So now you can actually have a conversation with your data, and the data will point you in the direction where your problem is, and maybe suggest to you how you can fix it. And we think that that's the future of workflow. So instead of clicking around in a user interface, you're actually going to have a conversation with your data, and that will lead to a solution to a problem.
Fascinating. Yeah, the near miss is to me, it's a tremendous step forward. And instead of sitting around waiting for it and a fatality happen or crash to happen, to be able to predict or anticipate that there's a crash situation at a location is invaluable.
Yeah. Well, and imagine if you combine the safety analytics product that you just described with the agentic system. you could imagine where a traffic engineer working for a city starts their day on, starts their week on a Monday morning, and they start with the question of like, where's my most unsafe intersection, right? They just literally type that into a chat interface, and then we return to them, through that chat interface, a description of the intersection, the problem, and then you can work through a conversational interface, like what countermeasure should I deploy?
Exactly.
Do I make a protected left turn? Do I have to change the geometry of the intersection? So we think that we're stepping into a world between these really rich data sets that we're able to generate for customers who are widely deployed, coupled with some of the stuff that's emerging with AI. We think we're stepping into a really interesting future for our industry.
Exactly, because it's that anticipation, because of what you're seeing as evidence of through the near miss data, could point you to a countermeasure, from one of the classic FHWA countermeasures. It could point you to a countermeasure that you weren't looking at.
Yeah.
And it could well be you would never look at it, because even if you've got a collision, figuring out why two vehicles collided or why the pedestrian was hit without the near miss data is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So it's a major step forward, really. Is there anything else going on here at the conference that would give any further insights into your current and future products? Demos or anything like that?
We're doing so. We have 2 vehicles driving around Atlanta where you can actually go and experience our TTS product. So if you want to experience an actual in-vehicle experience of our system live, we have 2 vehicles that are demoing that. You can show up at our booth and book a demo, and we'll take you out for a drive.
Excellent.
We're speaking on a panel tomorrow. We're going to be elaborating on some of the things I talked about. And then we have tomorrow evening, we have our customer appreciation event, and we like to say that the only thing we do better than innovation is throw a good party. So people are more than welcome to come out and join us for that.
That sounds pretty good. Anything, the little bit of time that we've got left here, that you'd like to add to what you've been saying about future company plans for products and new technologies, new services?
I mean,
that you're not showing here necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, I'll share something. You may have figured this out just from listening to me for the last 10 minutes, but I'm big on analogies. I think analogies help to really explain certain topics. And so we've been thinking a lot about the nature of intelligence as we think about some of these agentic systems. And the like ChatGPT, which most people have experienced, it's read every book on traffic engineering that you can imagine, right? It knows about traffic safety, it knows about,
That's a good way of putting it, actually.
FHWA manual, it knows about all of it. But if you think about human intelligence, being book smart is certainly one of the inputs to what makes someone intelligent. But the other things are access to context. So like, do you have information to make your book smarts contextually relevant, right? And if you think about something like ChatGPT, it doesn't know about, the city of Detroit's historical traffic patterns or, the current real-time state of the traffic. And then the second thing is the ability to use tools, right? So if you think about humans without any tools, our intelligence is only so useful.
Right.
So with these agentic systems, and we're demonstrating one at the show today. We call it Mateo, the Miovision automated traffic engineering operator. But the power of Mateo is that we take these core models that are available from folks like ChatGPT and OpenAI,
right?
But we condition them with context, which is we give them all the data about what's happening in your actual city, right, real time and historical, and then we give it access to tools like changing a timing plan or doing a signal optimization. And if you think about sort of what has made humans intelligent, it's really those 3 things, not just the book smarts. And we think that the combination of integrating the data sets into the models that already know how to be great traffic engineers and giving them access to the tools the traffic engineers need to do actions, it's going to allow this industry to really force multiply, get a 10-to-1 benefit on the all of the smart people that are here, their time when they work for cities. It's going to allow them to supercharge what they do.
Excellent. Well, with that summary, we're going to round off here, but that's Lynn and Curtis. Thank you for a very, very interesting, not only presentation of what Miovision has to offer, but also your analysis of the situation and the benefits that we're going to get from those. So we wish you continued success in what you're doing, and looking for significant improvements in traffic systems throughout the world because of this. Thank you. And that's a wrap for ITS World Congress. Thanks for tuning into the Transportation Channel podcast, where the future of mobility comes to life, as we've seen from this discussion here now. Catch more conversation stories and innovations at thetransportationchannel.com. Thank you.
Live from ITS World Congress, this has been the Future of Mobility podcast series. For podcast membership information or to explore partnership opportunities, contact partnerships@thetransportationchannel.com.